Baseball guy here coming from Wildemar, California at the From the Heart tattoo shop. And I'm coming to you not from my heart, but from my knees. I've got Kat here, and Kat is busy getting some tattoos. Kat, what are you getting done today?
Right now we're touching up my spinal tattoo. It's about 18 years old, and he's touching it up, making it look new again. And he's already done the outline for my angel wings, and we're going to do some detail on that as well.
So why don't you tell me the story about when you got this tattoo originally? What was the story behind that?
So it actually started out, my first tattoo was an ankh, and I've always loved the meaning of the ankh, which is the Egyptian symbol for eternal life. But the particular ankh that I had done is actually from a game called Vampire the Masquerade, and I used to play the game very adamantly.
So now does that mean you are a vampire?
No, I am not, but I did pretend to be one for a long time. It was actually kind of a fun game. It started out as a tabletop role-playing game, much like Dungeons and Dragons. But it became something more. We started doing a live action role play version of the game where we would actually go out in public looking like vampires and looking all gothed out and everything.
So you suck a lot of blood?
I did look like I was ready to. My aunt worked for a dentist, and so we actually had custom fangs made for me that looked pretty darn good. They looked amazing. And I did use them a couple times.
I can see that you didn't go the whole school route of like actually filing your real teeth, though.
No. I would never damage my own teeth. My tongue piercing did that, and I'm good without it now. Too much damage to the teeth. No, but the game, I played it for years, and so it was very impactful in my life because I met a lot of really good friends through that game. And so the single ankh wound up becoming 3. The top and the bottom ankhs are the same. One's just flipped upside down. And they actually symbolized certain factions in the game. So there was like the good guy faction, I guess you could call it, the Camarilla, which like hid from society. They kind of blended with human society in the game. And then the middle one, which is my favorite one, it's kind of a spiky ankh. It was the symbol for the Sabbat, which were the vampires that believed we are at the top of the food chain. We don't care. We're going to let everybody know that we're here. And meanwhile, trying to hide from the other faction of the Camarilla. So I kind of, my moniker online for many, many years was actually Sabbat Girl. So that's where that came from. That's where that came from. And then after the ankhs were done, my artist at the time, I said, it looks kind of weird, just the 3 ankhs on my back. Let's do something. And so he's the one that did the design on the back, on my spine, and I kind of like it. It's me. So.
Okay, now did that tattoo just start to fade over time, or what was the reason for the touch-up?
Well, so when I initially got the tattoo done, I was about 100 pounds heavier than I am now. And so over time, it's not only faded, but it's altered with the weight loss because I lost quite a bit of weight. And so it just needed retouching. And the retouch came as a result of knowing that I wanted to do the angel wings. And the angel wings were going to be really bright and popping. And so Hart was like, well, we can touch that up too at the same time. And I was like, hell yeah, let's do it. So yeah, I'm excited.
Now, how long have you been getting tattoos from Hart?
It's been about a year now that I've been coming to him. He's actually done most of my work now to date. I used to have small tattoos on my wrists that had my son's names on them. And he actually redid those, and they look amazing, added some writing to it. He did my sternum tattoo as well. And actually, he's the only one that I'm going to be coming to at this point because I love his work. So.
Okay. And tell me about the sternum tattoo. What was kind of the idea behind the design and what you wanted to say with it?
So I have a lot of Celtic knotwork on me. my husband and I, this year it'll be 15 years that we've been married. We've been together for 16 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you. When we got together and decided to get married, I added the Trinity knot, this one right here, because I was a single mom at the time with my son. And it was kind of, the Trinity traditionally doesn't really have a meaning in Celtic knotwork. But it became something for us because it was, the three-pointed knot, and we became three when my husband and I got married, and so that was kind of our tattoo. On my chest, so the sternum tattoo comes up the middle of my chest and above my breasts into another Trinity knot with a heart around it, and it drops down into a Celtic cross. I am Catholic, so I'd always wanted a cross somewhere on me, just didn't know what. But Hart did an amazing design on it, and so I was very happy with how it came. And then he added some little floral pattern that wraps around my breasts, and it just looks kind of sexy.
Was this tattoo for you or for your husband?
It was for my husband.
Lucky guy.
It was not for me.
And what was your first ever tattoo? Was it the one on the back, the ankh?
Yeah, it was the bottom ankh that's in the big spinal tattoo that I have. It's, it was small. It was about that big. That was my first one.
And how old were you when you got that one?
I was 31 when I got that done.
So you waited a while, huh?
I did. For multiple reasons. My ex didn't like them, but also because you're living with your ink for the rest of your life. I'm not going to be one that wastes money putting something on me that I'm going to regret. Every one of my tattoos has deep meaning for me. And so, yeah, I waited a little bit, but no regrets on it. I mean, I could say, oh, I should have done it earlier and blah, blah, blah. But everything to me happens for a reason. Some people have regrets in life. I have none, not one. Not my ex, not anything. I have everything that I have on me, I absolutely love.
Awesome. And by waiting a while, you don't have to sit there and get a cover-up of something that was, like, kind of awful.
Yeah, well, I did cover up my boys' names, but only because, again, when I lost all that weight, it affected some of my tattoos that I had when I was larger. So it was, look at the script. The script is amazing. You have to love I love his, right? Hart does the best script.
Well, Hart does. I'm so glad I'm not your artist. I can't even I can't print. My handwriting is just awful, let alone to be able to do it with a needle.
Yeah.
How does it feel on your back right now as you're being tattooed? What's the pain level?
For me, I kind of have a high threshold for pain, so right now it's not really bothering me. I know that there's going to be a spot that he's going to hit pretty soon that's going to really hurt, but that's just because it's a bruise that's been on my back since I was like 18 years old. And so I know when he hits that spot, it's going to hurt. But for the most part, I think the best description that I can give is, if you've ever been sunburned and scratched that sunburn, that's what it feels like. It just feels like you're rubbing on a sunburn. I'm fine with it.
And Hart does a pretty good job when he notices you're in a little pain, just to kind of give you a heads up.
His ass laughs at me.
Sweet. Now that is freaking awesome. I love that.
He's like, yep, that's the one.
Well, I know you mentioned before we started this interview that sometimes tattoo is therapy for you, and Hart's your therapist.
Yep, he is. I come in and he knows things about me that most people don't.
I'm thinking he kind of is using you as his therapist because he gets to at least cathartically inflict some pain to kind of get rid of all that stress he's dealing with. You can see him smiling. He's like saying, yeah, that's true.
No, he's not like that.
Hart's a little bit of a sadist.
Nah, I love him. He's a good guy.
Now, I did notice most of your tattoos are black and gray, but there's a little bit of color. There's a little bit of purple here in these ones on your wrists.
We just started throwing a little bit of color in, and it's just really subtle color, like the purple here On my left side of my neck, I've got my dream catcher, which he made some of the beads have a little bit of color, some orange and some turquoise in there. But I'm not big on color. Black and gray has always been it for me, but we're throwing in like little tiny just splashes of color here and there. Yeah.
Yeah, the only color you're really doing is in your eyes, correct?
Yes. I like to add color to my eyes all the time.
She's got the most emerald green eyes right now, although they can change day to day.
They do. They actually do change day to day.
So we got a good look here at your upper body. Is there anything on your lower body tattoo-wise? And
I only have one tattoo on my lower body right now, and even she needs to be touched up. It's an Amy Brown fairy that I had tattooed at a tattoo convention back in 2006, I think it was. And I haven't had any other lower body work done, but that's like going to be the next start. Hart's going to be doing some work on my hips and then carrying down onto my legs, and ultimately I want to be pretty much covered almost.
what are some of the things that you want to get then on your lower body?
I'm probably going to throw another fairy on the other side. There's some more knot work. I have a lot of Celtic knot work that I really want done, and more of the tribal design as well. Hart's really good at integrating the two into each other. I mean, he's done it on my husband too, where my husband has these massive tribal designs on him that flow into Celtic knotwork, and it looks amazing. But more of that. I'm probably gonna have him do my belly button, which there's a couple of thoughts that I have for that. One is the Celtic claddagh. My husband and I wear the claddagh as our wedding bands. And that's probably going to go on me at some point. And I'm thinking around my belly button because there's a really neat design that I saw. But there's also some writing that I'm going to have him do as well. One of my favorite quotes, saw it in the movie The Crow years ago, and it like resonated even before I had children, is "Mother is the word for God on the lips and hearts of all children." And it's a very powerful quote. And at the point in the movie when it's done, it was very powerful, and it just stuck with me for years. And that's one of the things that I want tattooed on me. Just haven't figured out how to do it yet. But that's going to be one of the ones I put on my leg or somewhere lower.
Well, I look forward to hopefully getting a chance to see that someday. Maybe we can get you back out here for another interview and talk about those additional things you get.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. I don't mind being in the chair. I love getting tattooed. I don't know why. It's, I know a lot of people use this tattoo numbing cream and crap like that nowadays, but I've earned all of my stories as far as I'm concerned. Even when I cover up all my tiger stripes, as I call them, I'll have earned those too.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today about your amazing work.
Thanks for coming out. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And thank you from the Hart Tattoo Shop here in Wildemar. Just amazing here. Hart's done a great job. We want to thank him. We want to also thank Tattoo Design, Ink and Ideas. Kev and his group out there, they're just amazing. And they gave us the intro here to Kat. And so shout out to you, Kevin. And just want to remind you to please like this video, comment on what you think about this great young lady, and don't forget to pound that subscribe button. This is Baseball Guy. This is Kat. We're in the shadow of Hart here. We out.